Let's now tell you more about the dictionary of the terror doctors. NDTV has accessed the coded notes and encrypted messages found in diaries and encrypted messages. Now, first up, the word specialist. Now, specialist for them, the terror doctors, meant Jaish-e-Mohammed operative. Then, heart specialist, that word specially meant senior operative behind core missions. Apart from that, eye specialist in their language meant surveillance and reconnaissance. Now, medicine stock, that word medicine stock clearly means small weapons, and preparing for surgery meant arranging funds or executing an attack. That's what preparing for surgery meant in their language. Now, biryani. Biryani in their language meant explosive material. Dawat meant explosion. Now, so once they were done managing explosive material, the message they shared was biryani is now ready and get ready for Dawat, which clearly means that the explosive material has all been collected and let's now be ready for a blast. Well, to talk more on this, my colleague Pradeep is now joining me live. Pradeep, NDTV has accessed the terror code words used by the terror doctors, from biryani to Dawat, and even Madam Surgeon. Tell us more about these terror code words used by these terror doctors.
See, one has to understand the anatomy of these terrorists. To understand the anatomy of terrorists, we have to go through the terminology that they had been using while conversing with each other. It was not only the medical terminology, but they were also using the word like biryani as well as Dawat. When they were talking about biryani, they were talking about the explosive material that they were collecting over the period of time. And when they were talking about Dawat, they were talking about the specific event. And the specific event obviously meant that they wanted to carry out explosion. So once they finished with collecting explosive material, they said biryani is ready. Now we should get ready for the Dawat also. So they were all well set to carry out the multiple explosions. Before they could do that, Jammu and Kashmir police was able to lay hand on 3 of the doctors and also nab the cleric who was responsible for brainwashing and indoctrinating these young minds. And because of this, the lid was blown off their terror sinister plot. And that's one of the reasons that they did not succeed in their mission, and that was thwarted. It was in panic that finally that explosion that took place in Red Fort area. Otherwise, they had a bigger plan. They wanted to carry out explosions in different parts of the country. They wanted to destabilize the situation, and they wanted to communalize the atmosphere where they wanted to widen fault line between the two communities, Hindus and Muslims. That's what actually their game plan was. But they did not succeed. But what is more important is that you have to understand, one, the medical terminology, their dictionary, and then this coded language that they were using. Idea was basically they wanted to checkmate security agencies. Second, they wanted that nobody should get a whiff of their terror plan, nobody should get an inkling. That's why they were using this language. And
right.
Second, that they were not using the normal telephone call. They were using telegram to interact with each other, so nobody gets an idea about what they are up to. But now I think the lid is blown off. It shows that there was a nexus between Mullah, it was a nexus between the medico, and it was a terror module, another M that was really working. But thanks to Jammu and Kashmir police that they worked overnight, overtime, and they were finally able to blow the lid off this sinister plot.